Hi everybody, it's Donna from Donna'sDreamworks.blogspot.com. And before I get started with today's card, I just wanted to show you what I've been doing all day yesterday and part of today. I have a friend who's going to be having a 50th wedding anniversary coming up in the not too distant future, and I'm doing her invitations as well as the favors. The favor bags are not too elaborate. They have the name and date on it, and they're just the little bags that are filled with the Jordan's almonds, because they are going inside the cake boxes, which will be built into a wedding cake. The cake boxes I found, because the bottom layer is 9-inch, it's really too big for one favor box. So what I'm doing is putting 2 packages inside here, and then once the cake is undone, they can open the boxes and take it out. So that's what I have been doing the last couple of days, and I'm about halfway done. I don't have all of the boxes made, but I keep making boxes day by day. I have a little time, but I am going to have some surgery probably the beginning of next month, so I wanted to get a jump start on the project. Okay, this is the card I'm talking about today. Really a pretty card. It's a thank you note, and it has a little bit of a vintage look, which for me is a little different. My cards tend to be brighter, lighter, and less vintage, although I do love the look. I've just not been very good at doing it. But not the card that I wanted to share with you today. It's actually the flowers that are made. I tried these out. I saw a video on YouTube, and it sounded like it would be really interesting, so I wanted to try it. They're made from cupcake liners, and they're kind of fun. So let me show you how it was made. I will show you the components of the card just to get you, let you have those. This is a regular A2 size card, 5.5 by 4.25. The second mat is 1/4 of an inch smaller. I made one mat that is the same size as the inside mat. It is actually the contrasting paper on the back, so it goes very nicely. And so I made this one at 2.5 inches, and then used the EK Success Scalloped Edge Punch. And I used Tim Holtz fired brick ink to go around the outside edge so it would stand out from the other brown. Then I have a dark brown piece that is actually cut at 1 inch, and then again I scalloped it and added a piece of ribbon so that only just the scallop showed, and that is placed on the card thusly. And then the sentiment is just a thank you sentiment, but you could have it a get well sentiment. You could have most anything on there. But the card I did make was a thank you card. And then I just put the 2 flowers on there as the embellishment, and it's really all it needed. So it was a very simple card to make. So let's make one of these flowers. You're going to start with cupcake liners, and these are the mini cupcake liners. If you use a regular size cupcake liner, of course it'll make a bigger flower, and it is a big flower. I happen to have white here, but what's good about this is these cupcake liners come in all kinds of colors, so you'd have options of making all kinds of different colored flowers. How you start is to flatten it out. Get it nice and flat, because it just makes it easier to fold it. Okay? And it takes 3 cupcake liners for each flower. So we get them all flattened out. Okay, now they're all folded the same way. You're going to fold in half one way. I have my fan going, so these are liable to blow away. You're going to fold one way in half, and fold that in half, and fold that in half again. And you have a little fan shape. Okay? Fold this in half, fold it in half again, and fold it in half again. One more time. In half again, and in half again. Okay, Now, obviously you want to have 3 different sizes because the petals of the flower want to be graduated. So I take 2 of them and I cut just a little bit off the top. Then I take 1 of them and cut just a little bit more off the top. There you go. Alright, so now we have the 3 flower petals. And what this particular cut is that made this particular flower is almost as if you were cutting, you fold these and you would cut a heart by just taking and cutting up and around a little bit and cutting up. Well, get off my scissors. There you go. And cutting up and around a little bit. Got that one a little pointy. Okay. And they don't have to be perfect, but that's this particular shape. You can really experiment with lots of different little shapes to get different kinds of petals. I don't think I have time to show you all of them, or more than a couple. There you go. Okay. 1 more. And you can also take this same shape and once you have this little heart shape, then you can create some slits down this way and it would give you even a more of a fringed type of flower. Okay. So now we're going to open these all up. I'm going to hold them so they don't blow away. Okay. I don't know where you are right now, but I'm in Florida and it's about 86 degrees, so that's why I have the fan going. Okay, so here are your 3 flowers, okay, and I stack them on top of each other. Then I take my mat and my paper piercer, and what I do first is I kind of squish it down into the mat with the bottom of the paper piercer, and it just kind of begins to give it a little bit of shape. Okay, now I make a hole and I continue to push it up and just kind of squish it all around that piercer. Okay, then what you want to do is put your brad. It can be a plain, this happens to be a plain brad, but it can be a decorative brad. It's nice if you can get it through all 3 at the same time. I didn't do that, so now I have to go through 1 at a time. Okay. Okay, close it up. Okay, and again, you can squish them up, get them all tight, and then just kind of fan them out a little bit. And it really does make almost like a dahlia, maybe, or a zinnia. Really kind of pretty. Okay. Now, what I did with these is I used a mist, glimmer mist type of spray, and that again is a homemade spray, so I'll give you the recipe as I show you how I did it. I have my misty box here, and I put the flower down inside, shake up my bottle, okay. Now, this mist is, and I'll put the recipe on the slide, this mist is very simple and a little different than some of them I've seen. This was a spritz bottle that I had, so I thought I'd give it a shot. The spritz bottle is filled with warm water about 3/4 of the way full. I put a half a teaspoon of Mod Podge in it. And then I used my acrylic paints for whatever color I wanted, but it wants to be one of the metallic paints. I happen to have used metallic gold here. So you want to take your acrylic paint and you add as much as you want to get the depth of color that you want. So it's a very simple recipe. Warm water, half a teaspoon of Mod Podge, and then your acrylic paint. And of course the metallic paints come in all different kinds of colors, so you could really get a variety of sprays. Shake it up good before you use it. I will tell you that you are using some Mod Podge, which, as you know, is an adhesive, so you need to be careful as it dries that the petals don't get too stuck together. They may stick a little. I didn't find it too difficult to just very easily pull them apart, okay? But this is what they look like, and you can see on this one it's two different shades. I did this one with a darker, I put some more acrylic paint in here before I did this one, and it made it a little darker, but I also let it dry and then did it again, and I think I actually did this one 3 times. So this is how I made my flowers, and I'll be back another time and show you some of the other cuts. There's a few more cuts to make that you can make some really interesting flowers. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.